Welcome to the Whole Athlete Podcast, where we focus on discussing topics to help you become a fat burner, optimize health, and improve performance in life and sports. Transform the whole you from the inside out with the holistic method. Let's dive in. Here's your host, Debbie Potts.
Hey there, it's Debbie Potts, the host of the Whole Athlete Podcast and the creator of the Holistic Method Coaching Program. And today's episode of Real Thoughts with Debbie Potts, I wanted to talk to you about KetoCon, as I am there right now as we speak. So in Austin, Texas, I've never been to Austin and I've been there twice in the last 3 months. I went to PaleoFX and now I'm going to KetoCon because I met the most amazing people on Jimmy Moore's low carb keto cruise this past month. And a lot of my fellow speakers are going to speak at KetoCon. So I just feel so blessed and excited that I am practicing what I preach. I always say, follow your passion, find your purpose, and your mission. And mine is to focus on letting everyone know about the holistic method and how to train the whole you from the inside out to improve performance and longevity. As we do that, we're learning how to become fat-burning machines, optimizing our health at a cellular level, and improving our performance in daily life. And hopefully you all go to Amazon and support me by ordering my personal story I wrote in Life is Not a Race. It is a journey with the holistic method. And then I also have a manual that I need to keep talking about every episode, the Holistic Method Manual and Workbook that is on there as well. And I created these books both about 5 years ago. And you know what? I'm following my passion and my purpose finally now as I am closing my Fitness Forward studio in Bellevue October 1st, partially being kicked out because the building's being torn down, but it's forcing me to keep going with my passion and feeling my purpose to share the holistic method with the world. And I'm very excited today. I got an email from someone in London to be on their podcast and talk about the holistic method. So I'm so excited that this is finally getting out there, and I'm really excited to be focusing on just this, as it's really been a challenge to own a fitness studio and train clients majority hours of the day and coach clients, and then do the business side and still do my own training and my own wellness time and eating, that I now can build this up. So I'm happy you are joining my journey and being patient with me and enjoying, hopefully, this new Thursday edition of my podcast where it's just me talking to you. There's no expert guest co-host that I'm interviewing and having them share their knowledge. It's just me sharing my thoughts. And I know a little bit about a lot. So that's why I have experts on the show to dive in deeper to topics that I know just a little bit about. So I just want to talk about metabolic efficiency in the fat adapted athlete. I will be having a lot of the people that I met at Low Carb Keto Cruise and at KetoCon. They're coming on the show, including Dr. Barry and Danny Vega and Dr. McDaniel, and hopefully I have Jimmy Moore back on before he goes on his well-deserved and well-needed 6-month sabbatical. Which, a side note, my friend Jimmy Moore, if you've hopefully been following his Living Low Carb La Vida podcast for the last how many years, 15 years, he so needs to take a sabbatical, because if you have listened to my podcast and read my book about the impacts of chronic stress on the whole you, he's an example of what the holistic method is about to truly be healthy and to be a fat-burning machine. It's not just your nutrition. Jimmy has done everything, as you have known if you follow him, to become healthy and to be a fat burner and lose excess weight. He's done every lab test, every biohack. He has the Oura Ring. He's doing the hot cold therapy. He's doing everything. But chronic stress trumps all. Your body knows when there's emergency, and it stops everything when it has an emergency. And if we are running from a lion all day long, that's what your body's going to do. So all that fat you're eating and protein and keeping those carbohydrates down to 20 to 50 grams a day, you're still going to increase your blood sugar and cause metabolic chaos, as we say in FDN. Reed Davis talks about all the domino effect of chronic stress. I call it chronic stress disease. So Jimmy hopefully will find some peace and quiet. His chronic stress, I've found for years, is being on social media all the time. And he has so many podcasts now that are amazing. But it sucks a lot of energy out of us doing podcasting. I just do one, and I try to interview people once or twice a week, and now do my single solo show once a week. But when you're getting emails, as he does all day long, and a lot of negative emails because he doesn't look svelte and buff and look like, Mike Mutzel or Thomas DeLauer or Danny Vega, Jimmy is example of what a real person looks like when they're metabolically damaged, and chronic stress, as my point is, will take over. So anyways, I just had to share that because it's very part of me in my mission is showing the impact of chronic stress. And I'm very excited Jimmy's taken some time off, 6 months, and hopefully we can help support him along the way and be all there when he comes back, and everyone buy 20 copies of their books. And he has a new Keto Clarity cookbook that just is coming out right now. So hopefully everyone can go buy that. So back to KetoCon. KetoCon this year has Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Christy Kesslering, Dr. Anna Kabeka, if I'm saying her name right, Dr. Nadir Ali, Dr. Peter Ballenstead, a medical panel. We've got Cameron and Julie Smith, Logan Sneed, Hannah, Craig Emmerich, Catherine Ficara, Mike Mutzel, my friend, since I've known him since he was in high school, know his parents. Thomas DeLauer, who I love watching his videos on YouTube. Great. Vinny Tortich is going to be there. I followed his NSNG when he first started, and now I looked on his Facebook page because I don't go in all those groups. He has thousands and thousands of followers, so he really has created something early on in the NSNG world. Dr. Sean Baker, Robert Sykes, who's on the cruise, he'll be there. Marie Emmerich, who's on the cruise with me, and a fitness panel, which hopefully I'm on next year. I asked them for me to be on it next year. I'm too late to get on there. But Dr. Saul Saldino, who I just talked to, he's going to come on my podcast. He's speaking on Saturday. Dr. Ken Berry, as I said, he's coming on my show, and Dr. John Lemansky. So one last person who's going to be on my podcast as well is speaking, Jillian. She is amazing. She's got a great story, and she has specialized in a ketogenic diet for epilepsy, and she hasn't had a seizure for years doing keto. So anyways, this is my new tribe, guys, and I really, not that I'm in strict ketosis, but being a part of this low carb, high fat, fat burning machine, coaches, as all these people, I'm really excited to be a part of them, and I hope to be a speaker with all these amazing, talented people next year. But like Danny Vega, Allie Miller, I love her stuff, and Maria's been great along the way. So that's what I'm doing, and hopefully I'll be talking about chronic stress and the impact on the whole you and the holistic method next year, as I have more time to focus on building this concept up and providing more research, how stress impacts our ability to burn fat. Okay, so going to today's topic is kind of related to fat. I was writing a blog based on working on with clients doing my 5-day jumpstart challenge, which is now online, and we'll be doing it every month. And it's a great way to just get 5 days with me. We do coaching calls every day on Zoom. I offer them different time, and it's just teaches you a little bit overview of the holistic method, the 8 elements, working on nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, movement, mobility drills, digestion, your gut health, hydration, and the last one is important one, the ability to be grateful, happiness, and play. So that's what we do in my 5-day jumpstart, really focusing more on going really low carb and teaching people that, because my point is of the topic today, fat phobia. Most people are coming to me without listening to this podcast. I had one listener do the 5-day jumpstart this week, and most people are afraid of eating healthy fat. And when I have them do the 1 meal a day, they're still dieting. They think they just need a little 4-ounce size of protein and a half a cup of this and 1 cup of vegetables. That's not what we're doing. We're not dieting. We're teaching your body to switch, flipping the switch from carb burner to fat burner. And it might take a week to 4 weeks. It depends on how metabolically damaged you are. And then we do a 30-day program. Ideally, you stick with me and we keep doing this program for the 30 days. And then you go into hopefully being more metabolically efficient and start to add, depending if you're not doing this for health reasons, except for being fat burner, that we can be a little more carb heavy on a weekend. Maybe we're doing a longer training ride, and then we can still switch back to burning fat. I just interviewed Amy Berger. She'll be on the show coming soon about what is really fat adapted and keto adapted. And she had a good point that if you're showing ketones on your Keto Mojo or whatever you use to measure ketones, a 0.2 to 0.5, you're still showing ketones. It's not 0.0, it's something is showing up in there. So you are doing something right to be a fat burner. So are you scared of eating fat? Do you still believe it will make you fat? Our fat phobia is real. And it's funny to me that people are still this way. And if you don't listen to podcasts and you're still stuck in that old mentality that you're buying the non-fat and low-fat products, which are filled with carbohydrates and processed foods and fillers, that it's really the carbohydrates, excessive consumption of carbohydrates, that are creating us to gain weight and be carb burners. If you want to burn fat, we need to become metabolically efficient. And how do we do that? We go low in our carbohydrates. So some say 20 to 50 grams total carbs a day. Even on the cruise, low carb cruise, they're talking about don't do the net carbs, which is total carbs minus fiber, but just go by total carbs of 20 to 50 grams a day. If you're a more endurance athlete, you're doing more higher intensity exercise, you may be able to go up to 100 grams a day. It depends. You can listen to Ben Greenfield a few years ago when he did keto for a year, and he had to stay in ketosis for the faster study. And I remember he did Ironman that year, and I was at Hawaii and Ironman Canada and Whistler with him, and he was doing keto and doing these, higher fat drinks. And he needed a little more carbohydrates than he was doing. So it depends what sport you're doing, and we'll talk about Spartan racing in an upcoming episode as well, how to fuel for that. But point is, you don't need to eat all those carbohydrates. We want to be fat burners, so we're going to eat fat. So I really want to make a t-shirt. Eat fat to burn fat. Eat carbs to burn carbs. Or, get fat by eating carbs. But it's still a fear of people that they're going to gain weight. And then we're trying to lose weight. People think they need to diet and count calories. I don't have people count calories. I don't even like them tracking their food and their macros. But I'd have them do it for the week or the 30 days just so they have an idea that they think they're going low carb, high fat. But really, they're still having a little too many carbs. So I have them chart their macros in Chronometer that Dr. Mercola has, chronometer.com/Mercola, or MyFitnessPal. And then I have them measure their ketones and or blood glucose with a Keto Mojo measurement, pricking your finger, a little blood test, and it's pretty easy. But do both for at least a week, ideally 30 days, and then we can figure out what your macros should be so you're showing ketones and you're starting to feel energy. And as I wrote down in this blog on wpotts.net, do you have fat phobia? Think about when you eat. As I said in another episode, you should feel full and satisfied, and you don't have sweet cravings. You don't feel like eating anymore. You don't get hungry after eating. You don't need to snack before your next meal. Your energy is steady. Your brain fuel, your clarity, your focus, your mind is just more clear. So Keto Clarity, as Jimmy Moore's book is in his new cookbook, Keto Clarity. We'll give him a little plug, but it is. You have more clear focus. Mindset is just magical. But that's, you don't have to go in deep ketosis if you're just trying to lose fat. If you have some cancer, autism, Alzheimer's, maybe have more higher risk genetic testing for Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, I would do more of a ketogenic diet. Look at Dr. Ben Lynch's Seeking Health website and his YouTube videos for more information on that. So why keto food plans, eating style is effective for those with fat phobia and struggling with carb dependency? Well, as I said, I think eating the fat, the high fat, protein, and low on the carbohydrates, you lose that carb addiction. You don't have those cravings. You feel full. I don't want to eat anymore. It's funny. I ate a big meal today, turkey roll up with some sliced goat cheese, and I had some olive tapenade on it with some mustard. That was really good. And I had a little bit of a kale salad, and I poured olive oil and sea salt all over. And I needed an avocado, and a hard-boiled egg would have been good. But that was my big meal of the day. That's all I'm eating, and I'm just having some bone broth right now that I added some extra sea salt in it, and what I just put in here is so good. So, and I had my clients put some MCT oil in their bone broth if they need a little bit extra brain fuel. So anyways, eating more fat will make you feel full. So if you do my 5-day jumpstart with me, I'll be doing it every month. You can go to debbiepotts.net or check out my new Facebook page, The Low Carb Athlete, or I think it's Low Carb Athlete on Facebook. I am putting research articles on there daily about how to be a fat burning machine, fat adapted, keto adapted, Volek and Finney's research. I did Dr. Maffetone, Peter Defty. I put an article. I found this other one from a blog, Metagenics, and so much to share. So I'll be building up that Facebook page, Low Carb Athlete, and hopefully I can figure out how to take the whole athlete podcast page and merge it into one, because I cannot handle having more than one page to worry about. So I start to do one page and I neglect the other. So if you want to, I need to have someone figure out how to merge the two pages together. But the whole athlete Facebook page for the podcast, and then there's Low Carb Athlete page. So they're both on Facebook, but the Low Carb Athlete, I'm just posting research articles to help you learn more the science side of flipping the switch, be a fat burning machine. So if you are on that blood sugar roller coaster and you're ready to get off that ride, stop being afraid of eating healthy, natural, unprocessed, undamaged fats, and be more concerned about the excessive carbohydrate intake you are taking. And if you're an athlete, it's amazing how you can feel without eating. You're not loading up on carbs before a workout, during a workout, or after. You don't need to eat that much. So check out the program, check out my book and the research on the web page or Facebook page, and hopefully I can help teach you why you should go low carb and become metabolically efficient and improve your metabolic flexibility so you're a fat adapted athlete. If you want to improve performance in triathlons, endurance sports, whatever events you're doing, but looking at longevity, you might want to be concerned about the stress you're putting on your cells that are speeding up the aging process if you're eating that high sugar diet and stressing yourself, training that black hole. So making sure you're doing the lower heart rate, Maffetone's heart rate, the max aerobic function training, and adding some HIIT training, avoiding the black hole, adding more recovery, active recovery days in between your hard workout days, and stop overtraining and under recovery, and then working on nutrition that you're doing low carb, high fat, moderate to higher protein, where you're balancing that blood sugar and showing some ketones, getting that fat burning effect going on, which will help reduce your oxidative stress and improve your mitochondrial function So I'm working on a new ebook for you, how to become a low carb athlete. And I have a lot of information I'm trying to put together whenever I'm stuck in a hotel room where I can focus on writing about how you can improve your mitochondria function, which is our energy production. So that has to do with chronic stress, impacts the whole you, as I say, including the function of your energy cells. Those mitochondria are where we create ATP and get our energy. So if our mitochondria are damaged, weak, and small, they are not going to be functioning at optimal levels. So if we want to improve our mitochondria, but getting them bigger, stronger, more resilient, and increasing the number of mitochondria, we need to work on what we're eating, how we're eating, when we're eating, as well as adding those hormetic stressors that we talk about, doing the HIIT training, doing the cold therapy, doing the infrared sauna, working on daylight exposure, the the lack of oxygen. So I've been swimming, trying to hold my breath when I swim, and trying different techniques to improve my hormetic stressors, so increase my resiliency to stress of my cells. Because what I write about in this new ebook that will be on debbiepotts.net, it's about increasing your resiliency, like our heart rate variability. We want to improve our stress, ability to withstand stress. So having those bursts of stress, those low doses, stress, recover, is what we're supposed to do. And what I've learned from Ari Whitten's Energy Blueprint website program, he talks about your mitochondria are not just energy cells, but they also can go into another role called cell defense mode. And so if we're chronically stressed and overtaxing our body from over-exercising, from over-stressing, for excessive chemicals, toxins, sugar, high-carb diet, not sleeping, all that stuff, we're putting our mitochondria into cell defense mode. So our cells, just as our HPA axis function, our adrenals get into that emergency response mode, well, so do our mitochondria. They get put into cell defense mode. And what happens with our HPA axis system, if our adrenals are overactive, our HPA axis system gets dysfunction. So our thyroid and everyone else that gets attention from the pituitary, the P of the HPA, gets out of alignment, and everyone gets put on hold because the adrenals have to respond to the stress. So this is my theory, or how I understand all of this and putting it together, is that's the same with the mitochondria. If our mitochondria keep having to go energy, self-defense, energy, self-defense, they're going to be stuck more in the cell defense side. So they're not doing what they're supposed to do, produce energy. So what happens? We get chronic fatigue. So take your genetics. If you take that 23andMe raw data, upload it into DNA Fit, or look at Dr. Ben Lynch, Seeking Health, has the Strata gene. And then there's another one I found that's free. These ones cost money, but you can upload your data and look at your ability to withstand stress. And I learned a lot, because I obviously can't withstand a lot of stress, because it took me since 2013 to feel better, after I finally helped my own self by putting this all together and getting glutathione and B complex and taking True Niagen, because I look at my genetics and I need a little more support on my methylation cycle. I need to improve the strength and resiliency of my mitochondria, and I need to support my HPA axis function. And doing that, I have to be low carb. That's what my body needs: higher protein, higher fat. I need to add more recovery, active recovery days, and listen to my body, listen to those red flags. I'm really strict with my sleep. I'm trying to give myself more breaks in between stuff. I might sit around for 5 minutes before I do something, or I might lie down for 10 minutes and then move on to my next task. So hopefully my rambling today can give you a few ideas for how you can take care of your own self and improve the whole you from the inside out with elements of the holistic method, which again, you can go to Amazon and support my podcast that I do for free by buying my book and my manual. And if you could give me a review on iTunes as well as Amazon when you buy that book, and help me grow my new business as I close Fitness Forward Studio after 10 years in my current location. I've had it 12 years total, having my own studio. My new adventure, my new journey is to focus on you, my listeners, building this podcast up around the world, speaking at conferences around the world, and creating this coaching program, the Low Carb Athlete, and the Holistic Method coaching for groups and individuals. So I will be adding FDN practitioner to my name in a couple months as I wrap up my practitioner program, so I can include lab testing for people as well as nutritional therapy, doing the nutritional assessment questionnaire and functional evaluation if you're local, and putting DNA Fit into the puzzle. So we're putting all these pieces of the puzzle together so we can transform the whole you to improve your performance in life, sports, and improve that aging process. So we want to look at the longevity, not just what's our health right now, but I want to be healthy in the long run. All right, guys, let me know what questions you have. I love hearing from you, so you can email me and I will respond. Just go to debbiepotts.net. Ask me any questions. You can get my free ebooks. I've got the detox one on there, chronic stress, how it impacts the whole you, and life is not a race. And then there's a new one coming soon, probably this fall by the time I finish it, the how to be a low carb athlete. So I thank you for your support and spreading this message around. Please share this podcast and help get more listeners learning about low carb athlete, metabolic efficiency, and the holistic method. All right, enjoy the day, go do something fun, get outside and play.
Thanks for listening to the Whole Athlete Podcast. If you have any questions, feedback, or topic suggestions, let us know on Facebook or at wholeathletepodcast.com. You can help us continue and grow by leaving a review on iTunes. Thanks again, and see you next time.